My name is Lily Brawner, and I'm 18 years old. I am currently a first year at UCLA, but I graduated from Point Loma High School in last spring. But my favorite thing was always writing. That was sort of my safe space, was being able to write. So I would write poetry and stuff like that. But then I started writing more seriously in my junior year, and I would try to get stuff published and things like that. But that was always my main thing that I would fall back on when I would get tired of everything else. I would be oh, I'll just write about it and then everything will be okay. But I also really like doing Model UN or debate, things like that, because I was super interested in talking and getting to know people. So I always wanted to ask everyone a bunch of different questions and see what your perspectives and stuff like that were. So I would be able to have conversations, but also talk about something that I was passionate about. Yeah. I have this sort of routine when I wake up. For one, I check the Merriam-Webster, what the word of the day is, because I think that's really fun, and I have always loved learning. When I was going to school, I would have to make lunch for my brother and stuff like that. So it was always sort of get to start the day taking care of someone, and I would make my mom coffee and stuff like that to get everyone prepared for the day, and that was super reassuring to me, because I was I get to do something for someone else. Even if I had a really important test or something coming up and I was super stressed about it, I knew I could make a cup of coffee correctly. So that was always just became a part of my morning routine, was waking up and making coffee and breakfast and lunch for my family, and then being able to actually get ready for the day. Pretty much throughout school I was bullied. That's kind of the quintessential thing for all people. There's yeah, because people are mean sometimes. So there's all of those things that were outward struggles, because I never really fit in with any of my peers. But then the other half of that was always that within my own culture, I never really fit in there either. So I was kind of just always at odds with something. Because I am half Filipino, I never really fit in with Filipino people, especially with my grandparents and stuff like that. I never really found a way to connect with them. I always just felt the sort of black sheep of the family, and it always made me really mad, because I was I didn't want to be the this is because I'm unique and stuff like that. I just wanted to fit in all the time, and I never could. When I started high school, I decided that I was going to publish a book. That was my whole, I was this is going to be my quintessential experience. I'm going to write and publish a book. The first 7 drafts were not great. But by the time I got to an idea that I thought I could finish, I kind of just went for it, and then I wrote the entire thing in a couple of weeks. So I ended up self-publishing a poetry book that was all about my experiences being Filipino American, being a mixed kid, and growing up with this sort of aversion to touch and an inability to sort of open up to people. And I put it all into a book. I made 7 different fictional characters, and I infused each a part of myself into each of them. I was eventually able to publish it on Amazon, so you can actually buy it now, which was super cool. I made a little bit of money, but I wasn't really doing it for the money. I kind of just wanted there to be something in the world that was entirely mine. And so I set a goal and I finished it, which was pretty cool. For me, success is just never giving up. I don't believe in failure. I think there's only trying and not trying. So even if you don't get, you don't at first, quote unquote, succeed, you don't hit the goal that you set for yourself, as long as you keep trying and you're still moving forward, then that is in and of itself success. There is no real such thing as failure. You just have to keep going and keep trying. It's not that there's anything that you're doing wrong, it's just that it's not the path for you. Conversation with my loved ones is my favorite thing in the world, and I will never be able to top it. No material thing that I would ever receive or any award would ever make me happier than just being able to sit down with someone that I care about and hear what they have to say. I don't have a driver's license, fun fact. I've tried for a very long time. I had a permit for a long time, and then it expired because I never wanted to drive. But part of the reason I never liked driving was because my mom always drove me around. We can just talk, and there's no real like buffer between just talking. So I was never like embarrassed to be like dropped off for school because it was always my mom driving, and we could always have like these conversations, and that meant the world to me. There's always going to be someone in the room that's smarter than you, so you shouldn't take that as like a threat to your own intelligence. That just means that there's always someone that you can still learn from. I got this award from like the Yale Alumni Association in San Diego, and I was absolutely mortified to go to like the ceremony that I got the award at. There was like a room full of people that also won this award, and we were all supposed to, like, when we went to go up and receive it, we were all supposed to say something about ourselves and like all the things that we've got to this point, like what extracurriculars have you done? And I was mortified the entire time I was speaking because I was hearing everyone else's speeches, and it was like they had done these incredible things. Like, I've been volunteering at this hospital for the last 6 years. I like cured cancer, and I was just sitting there and I was like, I teach math to underprivileged kids. That's literally all I do. What am I doing with my life? How did I get this award? After the whole ceremony happened, I was thinking about it, and I had realistically probably should have taken that as more of like, they're like all of these people that I could get to know and become friends with, and they could teach me so much about the world because they have so many of these experiences that I've never had. Because I was comparing myself to all these other people as opposed to seeing them as like a form of mentorship. I'm like, you could teach me so many things, but I was too caught up in that sort of like comparison mindset that I just didn't even realize it until it was too late. So if I had to give advice, that's what it would be, is that there's always something that you can learn from someone else. So use it. Use people as a resource because that's what they're there for.